Hi Year 10, Mrs. Smith back again. I hope you've had a lovely half term. Today we're going to be learning about something very topical, spreading pathogens. So, Tassami daily task. If you can't do the Tassami because you can't log on, let me know. I'm trying to get you access. Those that I do know can't log on, but just do some general science revision. And we're going to be looking at today, I want you to write down what you already know about how diseases spread. So off you go, do it now. Okay, Year 10. I would say it's lovely to see you again, but I'm not seeing you at the moment, hopefully in a few weeks. Hopefully you're finding it lovely to see me again. Of course it's lovely to see me. So, what we're going to be doing about today is spreading pathogens. This is really important because now that we are slightly lifting lockdown and you're going to be going out and seeing your friends, this is going to be something that you need to know about. Before you say, Mrs. Smith, we already know all about spreading pathogens and spreading diseases. We're living in a pandemic, we know this. Well, fantastic, but I need to make sure you know it. So, okay, how do we spread pathogens and diseases? Coughs and sneezes. I've already sent you the link to one of my favourites information videos about coughs and sneezes spread diseases. And this is because every time you cough or sneeze, droplets of water, mostly water I should say, are coming out of your body, and they've got any pathogens, any of these little diseases, viruses, bacteria living inside you. So things like colds, flus can be spread by coughs, sneezes. Okay, next one, digestive contamination. So we don't just get ill from coughs and sneezes, we can get ill from eating and drinking. So if my water had anything bad in it, like cholera, typhoid, then we could end up with getting a digestive upset. Now you know the difference between a cold, which makes you sneeze, it wants to pass itself on basically. So if you've got something that affects your breathing system, cold, flu, you cough and you sneeze to infect other people. The virus is trying to infect other people. You get a digestive contamination, something that you can get from eating and drinking, even from touching a dirty surface. So stroke something that shouldn't be too dirty, because I did clean it after dinner. But we stroke something dirty and then we put our hands all near our face. It's going to infect us. And again, as I say, that's things like cholera, that's things like typhoid. And when you get that, you have a digestive upset. So you end up with vomiting and diarrhoea. It's the disease's way of trying to pass itself on. And the other one we looked at just before the half term was malaria, which is passed on through a vector. Okay, so the vector is, same in maths, it's just a way of moving things. Well, vector, of course, as you know from physics, maths and Despicable Me, is something that has direction and magnitude. Oh yeah. So that's a vector. So it's got direction and it's got something going with it. But yeah, vector in biology is something that moves, and it's the mosquito that will move and infect you. It will take the disease from one person to another. And of course, other illnesses, most viruses are passed on by bodily fluids. Coughs, sneezes and blood as well. So things like Ebola, for example, was close to being a pandemic because people were dealing with the dead bodies, and dead bodies leak fluids. Hopefully none of you have ever come into contact with a dead body before, but yeah, they do leak fluids, and if you touch those fluids, you can then get infected. Same with sexually transmitted diseases. Again, it's bodily fluids that are the problem. So, why is washing hands important? We're going to do a practical now. I've emailed you a practical sheet. It suggests you do 3 different agar plates. Now, we don't have agar plates, but we do have the next best thing. Slices of bread. I know, it doesn't seem as quite as scientific, but I promise you it should work. So what I'm going to do, okay, I've got my slice of bread and I'm going to just put my hand which has been outside and not been washed, my hand which has just been stroking the top of my hob, because that's a normal thing to do. So my hand that's been doing all these things without being washed has now gone on top of the slice of bread. Okay, I'm going to take it off and I'm going to get a freezer bag. And into that freezer bag, I'm going to put my slice of bread. And I'm going to, this doesn't have a ziplock on the top, it comes with little ties. I've not got the ties out, so I'm going to tie it up after the video. It's really important you don't let oxygen get in, because hopefully lovely germs are going to start. Actually, I put this in the wrong way around because my hand went on the other surface. Lots of lovely germs are going to be growing on this lovely surface, and I'll be able to show you those next week. But we don't want oxygen getting to them, because then they can possibly infect us. So I'm going to write on here what's in here. Mrs. Smith's dirty hand. Okay, and the date, I'm going to put the date for you, which is the 1st of June 2020. Okay, next thing, I need to wash my hands. So we get our soap and we rub it, and under the tap we're rubbing, we're doing between our fingers, we're doing the backs of our hands, we're going to do in between our fingers from the back, we're going to do our thumbs, we're going to do down to the wrists, and we're going to do our fingertips in the middle. I'm sure all of you know how to wash your hands fully, but it's worth doing it properly, especially for an experiment. So let's get excess water off and dry them and go back to our bread slices. And here we go. This is my hand onto my clean hand onto the slice of bread. This is also a really good way of telling how clean your towels are as well. So I'm really hoping that mine, I know I washed it fairly recently, hasn't picked up too many bits of bacteria and stuff. Okay, so freezer bag. Let's pop it in and let's label it. Mrs. Smith's clean hand, and again 1st of June 2020. Okay. Hopefully you'll have been able to do that practical as well. I hope you can do, because it'll be really interesting to see how that's going on and what your results are as well. So yeah, you need to know how pathogens move around, which is mostly body fluids, but can be actually, yeah, pretty much all body fluids, but can be other things taking things here and there, like mosquitoes or a vector. And we're going to see how clean our hands are, and hopefully this will remind you that when you get home after being out with your friends, to really wash your hands. Because if you really want to scare yourself, get a 3rd piece of bread, get your mobile phone and put it smart screen down on that piece of bread, give it a little rub and pick it up again and see what grows on that piece of bread. So if you're feeling very brave, or like you want to disgust everyone in your family, do that as well. So I'm going to tie these up, put them somewhere where the young children in my house can't get to them and eat them, because they would. And I will see you very soon. Okay, take care, year 10. Stay safe. Stay especially safe if you're out seeing your friends. Okay, bye.